Bernie Krzys, publisher of Trenchless Technology at the No Dig Show here in Schaumburg, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. We've been doing a series of interviews this week to talk about the show and how things are going. And one of the great things that's happened here is Baroid donated a pallet of gold product for the auction, and the successful bidder was Miller Pipeline. And as part of the donation, Baroid has provided for mud guru Frank Canon to provide some training and education regarding this gold product. So Frank, you got a lot more knowledge about this Baroid gold product than I certainly do, and maybe you might comment about it as well as some of the interaction you've had with the students over the years.
Yeah, thank you, Bernie. Yeah, the gold product line is a new concept. It's faster mixing material. It is much more reactive, and we've gotten a very good reception on that. So we decided this year, instead of doing the pallet of board gel as we usually have, that we would go with the gold products. And the pallet of gold products is going to be changed depending on the soil type that they're going to be using it in. So it's not cut and dried exactly what that is. It's going to be adjusted for the specific geological conditions where they're going to be drilling.
Okay.
And as far as our donation, historically throughout, since almost the inception of NASTT, Baroid has been involved. We're very interactive with the student chapters.
You certainly are.
And so I think that we probably raised in the neighborhood of somewhere between $80,000–$85,000 over the years. And we feel that the student chapters are the future of our industry, so we're very happy to be doing that.
That $80,000–$85,000, when I think about the numbers, because the overall auction over the years has been, I think it's now like $370,000. So you're 85, whatever the number is exactly. I can't think off the top of my head either, but you've been a major contributor to the auction.
Well,
to the students.
We appreciate that, and like I say, the students are the future of our industry. They're our spec writers and engineers of tomorrow. So we feel it's a great honor to be associated with them, and also it makes me feel young.
Yeah, it does. Now, you've been a busy guy. Even this morning before we started this interview, I was trying to grab you and say, come on, Frank, and you were over there doing all kind of things, deals, and you were talking about a trip you have coming up to Sydney, and I think you said Melbourne?
Yes, we're going to be working with Vermeer. They're going to have a series of 3 in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane, of seminars for the maxi rigs, and we'll be in Australia for 2 weeks, and then go directly from Australia to the Russian No Dig.
Oh yes, that's coming up.
That's coming up the first part of June.
Is it going to be back at the same place, the Crocus?
Yes, it will. Crocus
Center, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same venue.
That's an enormous thing. The International No Dig was there about two years ago.
About 2 years ago.
So in this case, it's going to be a Russian no dig.
It's going to be a Russian no dig, and I'm a little smarter this time. I'll stay off the subways and not get lost. So,
subways are a treat there.
Yeah, they are. But I learned last time that 45 minutes on the Russian subway for me can last 3 hours. So
we were together in Russia a couple years ago for this no dig show. Frank and I were talking about it briefly before we started this interview, and I remember that one morning the subway, were you on the subway with that morning when the subway stopped and a woman got on and started telling us to get off? Maybe you weren't.
No, I don't believe I was on that.
We had no idea what she was talking about.
Yeah.
But she was yelling and holding a paddle saying whatever she was saying. And I was traveling with some other people from North America and we were confused. But eventually we got the message. No, we didn't. The doors closed. And we were the only ones left in the subway. And the subway did a little U and started coming back the other way.
That should tell you something.
So we got off the next time. So we walked across and went back the other way.
Yeah, that should tell you something. And the Russian subways have very good signage. The problem is they're in Russian.
They're in Russian, that's right.
So,
I know you've done so much for our marketplace, and I kiddingly, and a lot of people say mud guru, but you really just have a fantastic reputation with the drillers and otherwise in the market, and we all appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, Bernie.
That's it. This is Bernie Krzys, the No Dig Show, with Frank Canon from Baroid.